Hello, my name is Jeremy, and I live in Georgetown, Kentucky. I am here in Frankfort, Kentucky, and I am standing up for what I believe in. Today is Friday, October 8th. These are the things that I am standing up for and that I believe in. Fair elections, getting rid of Dominion voting systems, machines. We need a standardized voting system. We need, voters need IDs. In mass mail-in voting. I very strongly disagree with Zuckerberg being able to donate $400 million to help support the election. That doesn't seem right to me. Vote counting needs to be done on election night. I believe that suspicious activity needs to be investigated. I'm tired of biased news networks, and we need secure borders. All right, so my goals for today are to stand up for what I believe in, to call my representatives and senators, and to inspire people by doing this. All right, so right now I'm gonna pray real quick. All right, dear God, please help me get through this. Please forgive me for my sins. I know not what I do. Please do your will through me. Please help our country. Please help the leaders of this country to make good decisions, smart decisions, and help me to maybe inspire people today. Thank you for this day, for my health. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so now we're gonna call our representatives. I got them all saved in my phone here. All right, so right now we're gonna call Andy Barr. Put it on speaker.
Congressman Andy Barr's office. This is how may I help you?
Is Andy Barr there?
No, sir, but I'd be happy to take a message for you.
Okay, my name is Jeremy Pelfrey, and I just called in relation to the fact that I think that we need fair elections. We need to get rid of Dominion voting systems. We need a standardized voting system. Voters need to have an ID. We need to end mass mail-in voting. I don't think someone like Zuckerberg should be able to give $400 million to help out the election. That's not right to me. I think vote counting needs to end by election night. I think suspicious activity needs to be investigated. I'm tired of biased news networks, and I think we need secure borders.
Okay, I can certainly go ahead. Would you mind repeating your last name for me?
My name is Jeremy Pelfrey. So here's my flag that I usually hang in front of my house, but today I decided to take it off, and I'm standing here with it. Here's a sign I made. This is my vote matters. Kind of like Black Lives Matter, but my vote matters. Very simple. All right, so now we're gonna call James Comer. That's how you say that. All right, here we go. Is James Comer there? All right, so I'm currently in Frankfort, Kentucky right now, standing in front of the Capitol, and these are the things that I would like, or if you could leave this message for him, is I would like fair elections and to get rid of Dominion voting systems, machines. I think that we need a standardized voting system. I think all voters need to have an ID when they go to vote. I think we need to end mass mail-in voting. I don't think people like Zuckerberg should be able to help out with the election with $400 million. That does not seem right to me. I think vote counting needs to be in. it needs to be ended on election night. I think all suspicious activity needs to be investigated fully. I'm tired of biased news networks that don't give everyone all the stories of both sides. And I think that we need secure borders. I know the last part really doesn't relate to the other ones, but it's still very important to me. So those are the things that I would like to, that I'm standing for.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you calling. And you said you were at the state capitol in Frankfort?
Yes, and I am recording this, and I've never done something like this before, and that's the first time I ever called my representative, so I'm kind of a little bit nervous about this. So.
Well, we appreciate you calling. I can get that message to him. Can I get your first and last name to add to the phone?
All right, my name is Jeremy Pelfrey. There we go. And there's another one. Now we're gonna call Brett Guthrie. I don't know how you say that.
Guthrie's office.
Is Brett currently there?
No, he's not. May I take a message for him?
Yes. I'm currently in Frankfurt in front of the Capitol, just standing up for what I believe in right now. And these things are, I want fair elections, to get rid of Dominion voting machines that, in my opinion, that I think are hackable and connected to the internet, but that's another issue. But we need a standardized voting system. Voters need to have an ID when they go in to vote. We need to end mass mail-in voting. I don't think people like Zuckerberg should be able to help out with the election with $400 million. That does not seem right to me. I think the government and our people should be able to handle things on their own. I think vote counting needs to end on election night. I think suspicious activity needs to be investigated fully. And I'm tired of biased news networks not covering both sides and all sides of the story, and just one side in particular. Also, I think we need secure borders, which doesn't really relate to the other ones, but I'm just throwing it in there. So last year was the first time I voted, so to see all this stuff going on, it made me really unhappy, and I'm just really not happy with it. So I like to see that my vote actually counted, and to see things going on, I'm not happy with it. So.
Hey, sir. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is the office of Congressman Thomas Massey. How can I help you?
Is this actually Thomas himself?
No, sir. This is one of his interns.
Okay, I was wondering if you could leave a message for him.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
My name is Jeremy Pelfrey. P is in puppy, E-L-F-R-E-Y.
All right. And what's your phone number, Mr. Pelfrey? What's the concerns for the congressman today, Mr. Pelfrey?
All right, my comments are in relation to the elections. Last year was the first time that I ever voted, and seeing the things that have gone on, I'm very unhappy with them. So these are the things that I do want. I want fair elections. I want Kentucky and the rest of the United States to get rid of Dominion voting systems. I think we need a standardized voting system. Voters need to have an ID when they go in the vote. I think we need to end mass mail-in voting. I think people like Zuckerberg should not be allowed to donate $400 million towards helping the election. I don't think that's necessary. I think that our government and all our people need to be able to handle things on their own. I think vote counting needs to end on election night and not continue on for the next couple days. That seems very suspicious to me.
Right.
I think suspicious activity needs to be investigated fully. I think I'm tired of biased news networks that don't cover all sides of the story and might only cover one side. And then lastly, which is kind of a random thing, but I think that we need secure borders because, well, it's not necessarily random, but you know, when you have illegal immigrants coming into places that allow for sanctuary cities, and then those people are counted during the population census, and then those people can help determine how much a state, how many representatives that state gets, and so they're allowed more votes because they have more people, and they have more illegal immigrants, which in turn affects everything else. That is not right to me. I've looked these things up, and so that's why I know about these things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm actually in Frankfort right now, standing in front of the Capitol. Last year was the first time I voted, and this is the first time I've ever stood in front of the Capitol, and this is the first time I've ever called my representative, so these are first things for me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you for your call, Mr. Pelfrey. I've got it written down. It'll be logged electronically, and the congressman will see you called, read what you had to say.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. God bless.
God bless you too. Have a good one there. I might be standing here and I might not achieve anything, but the important thing to me is that I'm standing up for what I believe in, and so that means something to me. So, you know, some people might think, you know, I'm just one person. What can one person do? How can I make a difference? I'm just one person, but you know, if one person can do a lot. So, all right, so now we're gonna call Mitch McConnell, who has several numbers. I don't know which one of these. I like your shirt there. Thank you. I'm just protesting by myself. All right, so here we go. I'm calling Mitch McConnell, who has several numbers. Is Mitch McConnell there? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part. Okay, right now I'm standing in Frankfort in front of the Capitol, and I am protesting by myself in relation to fair elections. So the things that I would like are fair elections. I think that we need to get rid of Dominion voting systems. I think that every state needs a standardized voting system. I think voters need to have an ID when they go in the vote. I think we need to end mass mail-in voting. I think people like Zuckerberg should not be allowed to help out with the election with $400 million. To me, that just does not seem right. I think vote counting needs to end on election night and not continue on for the next couple days. I think suspicious activity needs to be fully investigated and just not let off the hook. I'm tired of biased news networks not covering all sides of the story. And I'm also tired of, we need secure borders, because if illegal immigrants are coming into our country and going into states that allow for sanctuary cities, and those states do a population census, then that state will be allowed to have more representatives because they have a higher population. To me, that does not seem right.
The mailbox of the person you are calling is currently full and cannot accept new messages. Please try your call again. The mailbox of the person you are calling is currently full and cannot accept new messages. Please try your call again later. Thank you. Mailbox of the person you are calling is currently full and cannot accept new messages.
Apparently Mitch McConnell has a lot of full voicemail inboxes, so that's awesome. Is Rand Paul there?
No, sir.
Okay, could you leave a message for him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, last year was the first year that I voted, and seeing all the things that have happened, it has made me very unhappy and sad. Right now I'm standing in front of the Capitol protesting by myself and calling all my representatives, and these are the things that I stand for. I think that we need fair elections. I think we need to get rid of Dominion voting machines, which in my opinion are hackable and connected to the internet, but that's another story. I think we need a standardized voting system. I think voters need to have an ID when they go in to vote. I think we need to end mass mail-in voting. I think people like Zuckerberg should not be allowed to donate money. I think I saw where he donated $400 million to help out with the election. I don't think that should be allowed to happen. I think vote counting needs to end on election night and not continue for the next few days. That just does not seem right to me. I think suspicious activity needs to be fully investigated and not let off the hook. I'm tired of biased news networks not really covering all sides of the story and maybe only covering one side of the story. And also I think that we need secure borders, because if we have some states allowing for sanctuary cities where illegal immigrants can live, and then their population can increase, and so they're allowed to have more representatives. They have more representatives, they get more votes, and that is not right to me. So I'm calling all my representatives today. I had a hard time getting a hold of Mitch McConnell. I think he has like 6 or 7 numbers, and I was only able to get a hold of one of his numbers, his locations, because all his mailboxes are full. So that's kind of disappointing to see that. Somebody needs to work on that.
Yes, sir.
I tried to email him one time and I got like a copy and paste message back, and that doesn't make me happy. So all right, that is all I have.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Senator Paul's office, can I help you?
Is Rand Paul there?
He is not.
Okay, could you leave a message for him, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, last year was the first time that I have ever voted, and seeing all the things that have gone on, I'm not happy at all. Actually, this is the first time I've ever called. Actually, I'm calling all my representatives today. I'm also standing in front of the Capitol in Frankfort, because I live in Georgetown, which isn't too far, but I'm not happy at all with the way things are going down. So these are the things that bother me. I think we need fair elections. I think we need to get rid of Dominion voting machines, which I think are, in my opinion, are hackable and connected to the internet, but that's another story in itself. I think we need a standardized voting system. I think voters need to have an ID when they go in to vote. I think we need to end mass mail-in voting. I think that it should only be available for maybe like soldiers who are serving our countries, maybe overseas or something. I think people like Zuckerberg should not be allowed to donate $400 million to support the election. I think the election should be able something that should be able to be handled by the government and our people themselves, not somebody else, like a private entity. I think vote counting needs to end on election night, should not be allowed to continue next few days. I think suspicious activity needs to be fully investigated and not let off the hook. I'm tired of biased news networks not covering all sides of the story. I don't think that's fair to the American people when it comes, to voting and knowing everything that is going on. I think it's an embarrassment to journalism. And also, lastly, I think we need secure borders, because if you have some states like California which allow for sanctuary cities, and if you have illegal immigrants coming into those states, which increases their population, and then the representatives are determined on how many people are in that state, they get more representatives and they get more, they mess with our voting system, which I do not believe is a fair and right thing. So those are the things that, if you could leave that for him, I would appreciate.
All right, well, I'll be happy to pass it along. And what was your name?
My name is Jeremy Pelfrey.
Congressman Rogers' office.
I was wondering if I could leave a message for him.
Yep, could I get your name and zip code?
All right, my name is Jeremy Pelfrey. P is in puppy, E-L-F-R-E-Y. I live in Georgetown, Kentucky, 40324. And what else did you need?
Okay. That's all.
Okay.
You can take the message whenever you're ready.
All right, so last year was the first time I have ever voted, and seeing everything that has gone on, I'm not happy with it at all. And also, this is the first time I'm calling my representatives. Today I'm calling every single one of them. And I'm also standing in front of the Capitol in Frankfort. And I live in Georgetown, so it's not too far away. So these are the things that I am concerned with. I think that we need fair elections. I think we need to get rid of Dominion voting machines, which in my opinion are hackable and connected to the internet, but that's another issue in itself. I think we need a standardized voting system. I think voters need to have an ID when they go in to vote. I think we need to put an end to mass mail-in voting. I think people like Zuckerberg should not be, he donated $400 million to help out with the election. I don't think something like that should be allowed to happen. It allows for a lot of biased, not good things to go on. I think vote counting needs to be ended on election night and not allowed to continue on the next few days. Things just need to be done on election night so we know who the winner is. I think suspicious activity needs to be fully investigated and not just let off the hook. I'm tired of biased news networks that don't report all sides of the story to our people, because that's important for people to know what our representatives and leaders stand for. And if they're not getting the full sides of the story, then they might not know everything. It just doesn't seem right to me. And lastly, I think we need to have secure borders, because if you have states like California, which allow for sanctuary cities, and more people, because they have more illegal immigrants, then they're going to have a higher population and more representatives, which, in my opinion, I think that cheats our voting system. So those are the things that I have an issue with.
Yes, sir. Well, I've got your message. I'll get that passed on to the congressman.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
You have a great day.
You too there.